My name is Kevin Schuessler. In this video we'll be showing you how to replace or bypass the deadman switch in our holster controller assembly. We will send you a kit if you're wanting to replace it. It will include the switch, the little LED indicator, wire ties, basically everything you will need with the exception of tools to complete the job. To completely eliminate it, all you will need is just a butt connector and a crimping tool. To replace it, you'll be needing a 5/8 wrench, also a 9/16 wrench, a drill, a 1/2-inch drill bit, a 9/32 drill bit, and maybe just a small pilot drill to start your hole with. Also, some type of center punch would be handy. You'll need wire strippers, crimpers that are capable of crimping a 90-degree FQD or female quick disconnect, or as most people call them, a flag terminal, which is a 250 or a 1/4-inch flag going onto a stud. You'll also need a ruler, some way to just make a couple of quick marks on where you're going to be placing the two holes for the switch and the LED indicator. This will show you how to eliminate or bypass this deadman switch. We put this into our holster boxes basically by depressing this switch when the controller's in here. It kills all power going to the hand controller. In effect, if somebody would accidentally hit a button or something on the controller, it would not make the tower move. So unfortunately, one side effect of these switches that we weren't aware of till we got a bunch of them out there is they do tend to stick, or they can break on you and basically make the tower inoperable. So there are two things we can do to bypass this. We could always send you a new button. There's a chance it could go out on you again down the road. We can also completely bypass this thing where the controller would be active anytime the generator or power is given to the tower, or we can remove this switch and then basically in place of it put in a toggle and an indicator light, which would let you manually power up your light and give you an indicator that the controller is active. So the first step in these, and I will show both of those alternatives. Removal of the deadman switch is very simple. Basically we're cutting the two wires going into it and butt connecting them together, bypassing the switch. So the first thing you'll do is remove the 4 screws in the holster box holding the cover on. And this is what you will see inside of here. The deadman switch is actually located here, but the wires come out up a little bit higher on it. They're very easy to spot because they come over and they butt connect to 3 individual wires. There'll be the red-white, the black-red, and the black-white on both ends. This will be along the strip here. This wire will be power coming from the tower, transformer, or from the DC power in the tower, going through this deadman switch, and then on up into this quick connector going out to power the hand controller. So all you want to do with this, first off, it would be to go ahead and cut the wires. The wire ties on that to just give yourself a little wire to move around with. That will free these up. You'll be able to see them a lot better. There, again, here are the 3 going up to the quick connector, the 3 running down to the individual relays. Since it's a lot easier to mess with 2 wires than with 6, what I would recommend is going ahead and cutting these off right up into there. That will basically eliminate the switch. At this point, we are having most people leave this in here. You can remove it if you would want to, but it is a rubber covered switch, so it doesn't effectively make a gasket or a seal on that hole, preventing any moisture from getting into here. Okay, once you've got those cut, what you want to do is you'll want to look at the perspective of the controller, since most of these will already be mounted. This one I'm assuming will be mounted on this side of the wall. If it was mounted on the other wall, you'd basically want to go to the other side of this to do it. What you'll want to do is go ahead and just find your center point, kind of a center line down the middle of this. You will want to make a hole at 1.5 inches, a hole at 3 inches, the center. And with the kit, you will be getting all of these components here, the switch, the connectors, rubber boot, and the little indicator light, and some wire ties to replace the ones that you cut out of there. Also a little screwdriver to add the wires into there. You'll also need a couple of drill bits. I like to use a little pilot drill to get my hole started. Then you will need a 1/2 inch drill bit for the switch itself, and then a 9/32, and that will be the diameter of the little LED indicator light. So once you get all of that, I go ahead and drill your, always safety first. There isn't too much to hit in here, but you may still want to just make sure. That's why we're going for that center point there. Once I've got my pilot holes, the 9/32 hole will go up toward the top. Again, that's for the little indicator. The switch will be down below it. And then we've got a decal just to kind of let people know what that switch is doing. So again, the smaller hole, the 9/32. Go ahead and punch that through up there. You can go ahead and open the other one up with that one while you got it in there too. And then go ahead and go to your 1/2 inch hole. Okay, simple enough. You may want to, depending on your depth and what this is mounted to, there'll be a couple of screws here that will hold this whole holster, so you can remove this to give yourself a little more access. If it's more convenient to just do it while it's bolted to the wall, you can do that as well. Once you get those into place, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and strip these wires. And if you were wanting to just eliminate the deadman switch or any type of a switch in there altogether, very simple. You just butt connect these together and the whole thing's bypassed. To do this, what you want to do is you will want to find the one side of this that goes down to these strips, because this will be your incoming power. We will go ahead and crimp that one first, and this will just get a flag alone on it, or an FQD. The other one here, you're going to go ahead and since that'll be the through power through the switch, you'll want to go ahead and put your one terminal lead of your LED onto that. Just a quick note, go ahead and back this little nut off of this first and put this through the hole. You will not get it through the other way. Okay, once you get that free, you can go ahead and put your little LED indicator in. There will be a kind of a little lock washer or metal thing there, just kind of helps stiffen that up a little bit. Go ahead and thread your nut back onto it. It takes a very, very small wrench. I usually go for a pair of pliers at a time like this, or an adjustable wrench. Again, this is just a plastic little ring up there. You do not need to have that super, super tight. Just snugged in will make that nice and easy. Then you'll go ahead and place your switch in here. You can put the wires on beforehand, or the connectors on it. So you'll take your red wire, put that with your outgoing ones that go up to your controller. They will become the energized wires when the switch is on, and be non-energized when they're not. Then you'll take one more of the FQDs, or the quick connectors. Go ahead and crimp that on there, give it a nice firm tug. And you can go ahead and place these on the switch. The switch toggle, when it's toward these flags, will be on. Down will be, the opposite will be off. So I like to position them that way so they're turning the switch on when they flip it up. Go ahead and place your connectors on it. Okay, then also on this switch there will be an adjustable nut. Just bring that a little ways. You can kind of put it in there a couple of times. You'll be getting this locking ring, which will basically hold the switch in place. There will also be another rubber boot that goes over the top. But this will give you the depth. You can't actually have that too deep that you'll run out of thread on that adjusting nut. Again, a little wrench on the inside. It's fairly shallow. Again, I prefer just using a pair of needle nose vice grips or an adjustable wrench. Okay, now switch is in place, the little LEDs there. Go ahead and put your rubber boot on. This one, since it is kind of a seal, I do like to use a wrench for that, and that would be a 5/8 wrench. We'll just tighten that down, kind of keep your switch held in place. Just get that nice and snug on there. Then your switch will be activating the LED, sending power on up to the control wires. What I've done with this one here, just to kind of to show you that this is going to work, one of the 3 wires in there will be this black with a white stripe. So I've just got a little external battery here, just to kind of show you this. This little screwdriver. You want to go ahead and place it. This one you will not be hooking up. This is just me hooking up battery power to show you this little indicator light will work. 4th one down on this side here will be a green. This is our ground or 12-volt negative on this. You will be tying in your other wire to that. And then that will be going back into that same position pole. That will in turn give grounds out to everything else. I'll just hook this up real quick here, just so they stay together. And again, that is position number 4. Okay, once those are secured, then just by turning that on, you will get a green indicator light. That will tell you that your hand controller is now active. They will turn that off to turn the controller off. You will also, along with these other things, you will be getting a little decal, basically just telling them this is what this does. You'll just place that right above there. Seal your unit back up, and they should be ready to go. Again, you can just leave that in there. Power on, controller active, power off, controller dead. And that's really all there is to it. So very simple. You can either bypass the switch completely, or we will send you this little retrofit kit to make it a manual one. You've been watching a Command Light technical video. We will be putting more of these as they come out onto our website. If something comes up that you don't see yet, please give us a call, or if you have any questions, give us a holler or visit our website at www.commandlight.com. Thank you.